Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Andrew with Disarrange. I'm out here shooting today with Neptune's Plumbing and Heating in a residential neighborhood. We're going to be replacing some galvanized water lines for a property management company we've partnered with. Think of your pipes as arteries, and this galvanized pipe, or artery if you will, is pretty clogged. This is a big problem in these old residential homes. Neptune's Plumbing and Heating will partner with your property management team to keep your properties up and running. If you want professional, reliable service in your residential book of business, give Neptune's a shot. All the information you need to know to contact Dan and crew will be in the bottom and the comments. Thank you so much, guys. Peace. Welcome to Disarrange 1775, your number one live talk show.
Hey, pal.
Hello, good sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you doing?
Doing okay. I'm trying to get through the short week here. The day off was nice, but it always creates more work on the back end when you get back. So it's
So how does that work with you? What makes it so difficult coming off a long weekend and a short week?
well because number one, I'm the only person at my job that does my job. I have to send releases weekly for every component we use to build every part in our on our lines at our factory. So, and we have certain days that suppliers ship. They usually ship on either Monday or Friday.
Right.
So I have to change ship dates. And then I was talking to you about that today. Some of them ship early, some of them ship late. They don't always tell you. So when I go to account for parts and do releases, it's just my Monday is my day. I do my releases on Tuesday and Wednesday. Monday is my day to evaluate inventory. You know what I mean? I look at the schedule, I evaluate the inventory. That way, when I go into doing my releases, I got a good grasp of the thing. When I come back from a long weekend, I feel like I'm going in blind, and it drives me nuts.
You were stressing pretty good this morning when we talked.
Well, and not only that, but all the other crap that, the other work doesn't stop either. New stuff pops up, so I'm trying to dig through emails, and it's a
tough one.
It's fun.
Well, buddy, we made it to episode 26, which is officially, if I do my math right, we're exactly 6 months in.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had one of those. I wish like Rodriguez was here or something, gave us like a ching, like.
Who would have thought 6 months?
Bud, that's what we say. Consistency, right?
Yeah, we've been doing it for 6 months. I can attest to that.
Yeah, and it's been nothing but awesome, man.
It has been awesome.
I thank you for a great 6 months, dude. I really do. It's been great.
I thank you, sir. Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's definitely been a well added addition to my life. So
awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Welcome to tonight's show, episode 26, Disarranged. My name is Andrew. My co-host over here is Matthew Gardner. Tonight we're going to be talking about Memorial Day, what it means to us, and what could be lost in the meaning of Memorial Day with the time off and barbecues and such. And then we're also going to talk about the comparison of the 5 stages of grieving and separating from the military, which I think we found pretty interesting when we spoke earlier today. So we'd like to get everybody's opinion on what they think about it.
Exciting stuff, pal. How was your weekend? Forgot to ask.
Dude, mine was good. Yeah, man. Got some well-needed relaxation, and did some traveling, and everything was good, man. It was good to go. Yeah. Thanks for asking, pal. But let's just. I don't care what you say. Um, what's up, Cody? What's going on? Turning in,
Cody.
fellas, at work. Awesome. Well, it looks like we got some people coming in and joining the
Right.
chat. Yes, everybody, hop in the chats tonight. Looks like we're going to have a really good interactive show for you. I think we're going to bring up some good topics and some good perspectives. So as we hop into it, man, Memorial Day. You and I spoke in depth this past weekend, and I really wanted you to open up with this segment and kind of give us your take on the true meaning of Memorial Day.
Yeah. So the more I thought about this, I think a couple things come into play with Memorial Day and Veteran Day. If you aren't prior service or you didn't have family members or friends that serve, right, you have no connection. So you have no connection to the military other than, you live in the United States and you support the military, hopefully.
Right.
If there's not a war, an active campaign going on, something in your face, it's just like anything else. You know what I mean? Out of sight, out of mind. Right. So I don't fault people for the, not finding meaning behind it. I think it's important as veterans that we do our part to explain to people what Memorial Day is really about. And I think to do that it's not just about, we pay tribute to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, those men and women, but it's also talking about them, saying their names, right? Not forgetting them, I took time with my little one. I always explain stuff to her, it's like, what is Veteran Day? What is Veterans Day? So we celebrate veterans. What is Memorial Day? Mm-hmm. And I shared stories with her, personal stories, that we went through, that affected us, why it's difficult on Memorial Day. Right. So
do you think us as veterans, we kind of take it into a deeper meaning and respect, considering, we are combat veterans. We've been to Afghanistan. Do you think that it's not necessarily fair for us to not kind of, I don't know, be a little hard judging on that?
No, and that's why I say I don't want to. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. If people got stuff going on, it's sunny outside. And you should. All those men and women that sacrificed and laid their lives down, that they did it for that exact thing. So you could laugh with your family, so you could have a good time, so you can enjoy the cool breeze, free air of the United States of America. So I don't think they would have it any other way, right? And I think that's fine. I just, I want people, I wish people would harken back to why it's so important to pay tribute to those souls that were lost for this country. And, I think a lot of it is a lot of this generation, it's Iraq, Afghanistan. And some of the argument is, well, I don't believe in the war, all that kind of stuff. Me and you talk, I'm a big World War II guy, man. For me, World War II, there is no more pinnacle time in history than World War II. I mean, literally like a couple bathroom breaks or a couple, scotches and the whole world would have been different. Right. Like
100%.
It was that hinged on fate. And I wish that people would think about, how 17 and 18-year-olds, they went and did what they did so we could be here, right?
Well, when you told me the other day about what you saw, or was it this morning, about the post that when was America ever great? I think this is where kind of it sparked a little fire up in your ass to acknowledge these 17 and 18-year-olds, right?
I love the fact that people I love the fact that people can speak freely. I can speak freely, and I've served my country. I don't say things that I think would be disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about something like that, you know it's going to offend. So they say stuff nowadays that just is like, I don't know if it's fat or whatever, but I'm thinking about, you know, I talk to you. It's like people don't understand. You have a certain amount of what is it? Your force numbers for each branch, right?
Yeah.
And thank God, right? Thank God we live in this awesome country where parents do a great job and kids have the heart to want to serve and do something greater than themselves, be a part of something greater than themselves. Because what people don't understand on the flip side of that is those numbers have to be filled. Yeah. So what happens if people don't volunteer? You know what I mean? So people just, yeah, you're going to be voluntold, right? So people just take for granted. I think people take for granted, especially this generation, the willingness of those who go before them, and especially those who pay the ultimate sacrifice. It doesn't matter if you agree with Iraq or Afghanistan war.
Right.
Those men and women that signed up and died, they did it with the belief in service for their country, and they did it for everybody else back home. You know. So
interesting enough, you said World War II was, you know, it's your jam, right? I was walking through the airport this weekend, and I noticed this elderly gentleman had one, you know, a veteran, one of those veteran hats on, right? And just judging a book by its cover, and I was like, oh, dude, this is salty World War II, right? Like, I was like, dude. As I come and I approach him from the left, and I come up around, and I glance back and look, Vietnam.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it was unique in that moment. I was like, wow, like time is moving on. I remember, remember, especially when we were in service, dude, seeing salty World War II veterans. I mean, 2 years ago at Cookies at the Bash, I got to eat a cheesesteak with a World War II veteran Marine. Like, yeah. You know, so it was interesting to kind of have that experience, because I thought I was going to see a World War II vet.
And I take that into account. I understand that not everybody knows. First of all, you should know the history, and you should know, as I feel as parents, you know, you should speak on that, man, and understand that there was a time in our history, and there has been many times, when people, men and women, have gave selflessly, without a second thought, to giving their lives so we could be here today, so you could get your dumb ass on social media and write, America was never great.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right? So that young man or young woman that goes to the recruiter's office, was that you?
No, we're good. It's
okay.
Laundry's done.
Right. They're not taking into account the sacrifice they're making, so they can sit on their ass again that day and get on their stupid social media page and make a dumbass comment.
And I wish people, we're not asking, I would never ask and force things on people, like ideas or ideologies or anything of that nature. But I think that there has to be, come on, man, because like to your point, when we were talking on the phone, these people would be speaking German.
No. Yeah. World War II is not debatable. Like, legitimately, if you don't fight, we're not a country.
Yeah.
So there's no like, oh, you know, I don't believe in fighting and all this crap. You know, like all that. You can throw that crap out the window. That's a legitimate. Everybody picks up a weapon and fights. And if the women back then, they couldn't go to the front lines and fight, but guess what? They were in the factories building the freaking weapons.
100%.
And they were busting their ass back home. They were busting their ass in the front lines as nurses and all that stuff. So everybody did their part. Everybody. And that's why America's great. That's what we're found. Those are the things I think about when I see crap like that. You know what I mean? Those people did that stuff, so that 17-year-old kid could sit there and make a stupid ass comment.
We have a great comment from Tyler Glandon. My grandfather, whenever he was asked about Vietnam, always said that he'd rather go overseas and know that his family was safe. People sacrificing potentially everything, missing time and missing family. 100% agree. Thanks for sharing, Glenda.
Yeah. Thanks, Tyler. What do you hear all the time? What do you hear all the time from veterans?
In what regard?
Well, what would they say to like their family members? I'm going so you don't have to.
100%. I think that's what every veteran, regardless of how they get in the military, is what they ultimately tell themselves.
Yeah. And I know as quirky and corny as that sounds, I do believe in the fabric of every veteran. They feel that.
Oh, 100%. I 100% agree. Right down to their bone. Like I said, it doesn't matter how they got in the military.
No.
When they're getting on that bus,
then you understand the gravity of it. Yes, you understand the gravity of it.
It sits different in your gut. And
so my thing is, Andrew, the continued sacrifice. So, the men and women that passed, that gave their lives, they're gone. But the ripple effect is that the generations of pain that left behind in their family members, and more recently, like in the Afghanistan war, where kids are growing up now without fathers, without mothers, without brothers and sisters and boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're still like feeling the effects of that. So people don't understand taking into account that every day. Every day. Yeah. So for me, it's very important to outline the fact that we need to appreciate.
I like that.
The sacrifice and the willingness, not just of the actual veterans that were there, but the family members, the sheer torment that they go through back home, and then what they have to deal with in the after effect. Because once that person's gone, they're gone, and everybody else is left. Once the banners are done waving and the thank you for your services are gone, it's quiet, and that person's gone forever.
Right.
Now
there's a level of grieving, obviously, that takes place as these men and women don't come home from their active service. We had an interesting conversation today when I gave you a call, and I need you to take a note because I was driving. But when I was headed down to the VA, so just to kind of roll into the next topic here, going from grieving of death to grieving of a separation. And today, when I was on my way down to the VA, I gave Matt a call and I was like, "Hey, bud," I was like, "Grab a pen." And he's like, "All right." So he picks up a pen and we started talking. I said, "Hey, I'm sitting here driving down. I'm in a lot of pain. My whole left side of my body is killing me." And I said, "Do you think that there is a connection or a relation to the 5 grieving steps or 5 grieving stages and separation from the military, from active service?"
Right.
So this is a super fresh idea that we've talked about the last literally couple hours between work and X-rays and MRIs. But I wanted to just bring it up today. I wanted to open up the chats and I wanted to kind of see what people thought. So tonight we're going to go over the 5 stages of grieving: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I think I just want to take a little bit of time and slowly go through some of this, and we'll put the link that we're getting this information from down below in the comments and the description. But what's your opinion on this since we've been talking about it?
No, when you brought it up to me, it didn't make sense to me. And I was in the middle of sending an email to somebody in Canada.
Okay.
And I didn't write it down. So
Honest.
Yeah. But when I was driving home from work, I was thinking about what you said, and I'm like, how does that even make sense? And then when we were doing our pre-show and we were talking about it, and I'm like, God, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense to what veterans go through, depending. I mean, obviously, situations vary and experiences vary, some more severe than others. But the effect that being a part of the military leaves on a veteran's life is forever, right?
Yeah.
So, like you were saying, the point you were making earlier when we were talking was you don't. I think sometimes we just think we're walking out, and it's like, okay, back to whatever we were doing.
Right.
And
so that would kind of bring it into the first one. If you could throw up, Matt, throw up the shot one more time, denial. And so I'm going to just read, we've got all 5 steps here. Again, this link, we're going to put it below, but denial, feeling numb. Now, this is what we're reading here is basically talking about someone passing away.
It's just it's the generic definition. It's the blanket definitions for these
Right.
for loss. Yeah.
Right. But when you look into this and you start really like, man, wait a minute, this kind of sounds like familiar territory. Feeling numb, or some people, they first carry on as if nothing happened. We all got out. Oh yeah, I did my service. I'm a badass, and we thought we just had to continue with the same intensity, the same drive, and move forward instead of taking time to maybe analyze our surroundings.
Yeah.
Cody Bear says, I honestly have never jumped into these steps or even thought of them after 3 deployments. Just left the service and started working in DC in the government. Maybe I should have. That's exactly the point right there. Glad you threw that up, Matt. He just, if we're right and this is a level of grieving, that's denial to the T right there. I'm guilty of it. I would imagine. What was your separation like if you had to look at this definition?
Yeah. So I guess there is a denial because it happens so fast, dude. It happens so. I told you, like, I mean, here I am 10 years in, and within like 5 days, it's over. You're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your DD 214. Thank you for your service. GTFO. See you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, well,
it fits the definition of denial right out the gate, and then we go into the next one, anger. Now each one of these steps doesn't have to go in sequential order, right? These can all happen at different times. Each stage doesn't have to happen before the next one does. But you go into anger. Anger is a completely natural emotion. Let's see. I'm just trying to skip over the parts when it talks about death. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I'll speak on that. So I think just referencing to your situation, you had a lot of anger, right?
Still do.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and I don't love it, but I always chuckle when I hear veterans who act like they don't care, that this happened, they got out for this reason. You cared. You didn't damn near die or kill, blow your heart out at boot camp to earn whatever title you earned to turn around and say you don't care. So you care.
Yeah.
If you didn't get out the way you wanted to get out, or, you got injured or whatever, so I when guys or girls say that, I'm always like, okay, well,
anger's the biggest, one of the biggest ones for me, where we talked about the dream that I had, and now being able to understand where my position is, and then now tame the aggression in terms of, I need a release, right? So now it's relearning my ways, figuring out where my release can be, the healthy releases.
Yeah.
And kind of, I'm in a growing, remolding stage right now, and it feels pretty cool. But the anger was one that really hit me. So then we go into the next one here, bargaining. This one is the one that that trumped me a little bit when I was thinking about driving, and when I got to the VA, I quickly looked it up and found out what we were gonna be reading here. So I'm going to read this one almost verbatim. When we are in pain, it's sometimes hard to accept that there's nothing we can do to change the past or the thing that had happened. Right there, first sentence. I mean, that can be a very relatable to veterans. Bargaining is when we start to make deals with ourselves or perhaps with God. If you're religious, we want to believe that if we act in a particular way, we will be and feel better.
Yeah.
Right. So we pick our lane out here and we dive into it thinking it's going to make us feel better, but ultimately we haven't really addressed the issue.
Well, and that's the same thing as those people saying, like, I don't care, fuck the military. But excuse my language. I'm sorry, Grandma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That goes right back up into denial. And then the next one obviously is depression. I think I'm not even going to read that. Being sad, lonely, grieving, right? Thinking about the past, the what ifs.
Yeah, and you can grieve over so many things. When I thought about this one, it's like, obviously, if you lost brothers and sisters, you grieve for that. You think about that daily, right?
Right.
But I think we also grieve over losing the sense of brotherhood, losing the sense of accomplishment, losing the sense of knowing we're the baddest MFers on the planet. Well, you know what I mean? Like, you're not that person. That you're done. It's over. You know what I mean? Losing, walking next door to your buddy's barracks room and doing whatever, you know what I mean? All that's just gone.
I think I know, right? Me being a dreamer and being 100,000-foot view, man, this is why we're doing what we're doing. We're kind of going at the I wouldn't say the impossible, but there has to be a happy medium where we can start triggering a different mindset, and instead of just being a veteran and going to the VA, being broken, and then going through these steps and maybe never getting to the last one of acceptance. Well, some people may never get to that point, and you read here, grief comes in waves. You can feel that nothing will ever be right again, no matter how long you've been grieving or accepting, but it's going to gradually get a little bit easier.
Right.
And it's possible to accept what has happened. We may never get over fully what has happened to us.
Because in all actuality, things will never be like that again.
They'll never be the same, right? There's some
like you're never going to get that person back.
100%. But if that is an identifiable mission right out the gate, and understanding and breaking it down, and that's part of the deprogramming.
Oh yeah,
a lot of these things and things that we haven't introduced yet this ties into our FRC program.
Yeah,
being able to tie this together, I think we're going to come up with a freaking great product for everybody in terms of healing. I can't freaking wait, man.
And make no mistake about it, ladies and gents, this is stuff that me and Andrew are in the process of dealing with in our lives. So
100%. Everything that we've said, I mean, literally, it's live action. I mean, it may not be per that day, it may not be that week, but we try to, like we said in the very beginning, first episode, break down and do this live action with you and grow and learn and stumble and fall and get up and keep going, man. And just talk it out, right? We need to have after action reports. And that's a big thing. I think I know veterans just keep their mouth shut, keep moving, because that's what they're supposed to do. And that's what the mission is.
Yeah.
We've all learned after action reports, and why we don't use them out here, it blows my mind.
I love that you said deprogram, because that's just the denial part to think of, that you can just walk out of the situation you were in, especially, of course, I'm just speaking on the military or the Marine Corps. I'm sorry.
Right.
To think that you could walk out of serving time in the Marine Corps and you're not going to need some sort of deprogramming. You're absolutely insane.
Yeah, 100. But did you think that right when you got out, you didn't? I promise you didn't think that. You thought that I'm out, I'm done. This is what I'm supposed to do, and then, or did you see some of us going through some things and realize that you were up for a big journey?
I was more surprised. I knew I was just taking it a day at a time, right? So I was more surprised with myself and my personal experience that naturally I some of the things I didn't need to deprogram from, because I think because I came in at an older age.
I think having a family probably.
Yeah, and all that. Yes.
Being able to have that drastic change, although, for me, I lived at 100%, lived in the barracks, lived, ate, breathed it. As hard as it was, that was probably a good thing that you had that completely separation.
I lived in the barracks. I lived with Dix and Mesa for.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah, that's right. You did do. I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. You
barracks too.
You were.
But then the other thing surprised me that I did need deprogramming from, like, going to work a civilian job and talking to people during work, and like them not having the same sense of urgency, or, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It's like, dude, it drives you nuts. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a learning experience.
Jerry Davis says it's hard to get past the anger when the people at the VA see the issues but won't address the issues. Jerry, thanks a lot for your comment, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Interesting enough, I was on a plane last night, and the guy sitting in the window seat, we just happened to strike a conversation. Weird. And come to find out, he owns an engineering company here in town. Getting ready to retire, sell his shares off, and he's just been flying back and forth from his retirement house in, I think, North Dakota, I believe, and finishing things up down. And he actually lives right down the road. Well, anyways, we started talking, and to Jerry's point, he goes, I know the director of the Chicago of the VA. Mm-hmm. And we got into a conversation one time. Dude, this dude was dropping names, like, people left and right. I was like, holy
so he knew people.
Yeah. And so we get talking, and he starts telling me this, and he goes, I forget this guy say Bob. He goes, why don't we just give our veterans healthcare cards and just be done with the VA? Just be done with it, right?
Why do they have to have separate care?
Let's just take that money and put it back into flipping the bill. And he goes, you know what, Dean? He goes, it will never happen. You want to know why? Because mostly all the experimenting that is done on veteran, or all the experiments that are done on humans are most likely done through the VA. There's a lot of experimenting going on, right? I mean,
I buy that.
And I was like, interesting, When I first got out, I know that I signed up for things just to get a few $100s. Have you been offered studies and things of that nature?
No, but I would like to know what you did for a few $100s, or maybe not. Hey-yo!
Drop them. No, dude, I've signed up for studies. Like like with my head and things, and like
I never got offered or approached about any of that stuff.
So to Jerry's point, like there's an agenda, Jerry. I think allegedly there's definitely is, and then it's hard not to see it when you go to the VA. They're overstaffed for what they just provide in my opinion, they provide all these jobs. They're overstaffed in areas and understaffed, and with good talent in others. But Jerry, thank you for your comment. You're going to get me all wound up about the VA.
Well, most of the time, and this goes with any job, people go into it with a good heart and want to change things, and they just get worn the hell down. you know.
Exactly, and I respect that. Most people in the beginning of their career, and I can speak of a family member that went into a profession and jumped into the VA first, and of course, obviously being a brother, she jumped into the VA and was like, "Oh, this is cool," blah blah blah. Blah. But most people start their career there, gun ho, like to your point, gun ho, want to help, want to save the world, want to treat America's heroes, and then they go off and do their career, and then they come back around after they've been seasoned for 20, 30 years and want to close their career out.
Yeah.
Or just continue working there and stay into the retirement. And that taints people. I
Absolutely.
think, right? So, I mean, it's not easy to deal with us as veterans. Trust me, I wouldn't want to deal with me if I walked into the VA.
Well,
real talk. If I saw me walking into the VA, I wouldn't deal with me.
I think it taints the workers too when they want to help in a certain way with the veterans, and they're limited and they have obstacles constantly that make it difficult to give the care that they want to give. I think that wears them out too. So yeah. I do. I mean, I've talked many a times about my VA that I go to. I'm blessed. For me, it's fantastic. I've had nothing but, and I don't think I don't have to get medical care, because I got retired and have the TRICARE, but I do my mental health through there. And I mean, they're fantastic. They call, I have a PTSD counselor and a psychologist, and their nurses call periodically just to check in.
That's great. That's a complete opposite care that I've experienced here. And it's been like that in pretty much different states that I've been. It all has its little different flavor. I want to jump into a comment right here before we get too far. Madman Mahan, I believe this is my buddy Dougie. How you doing, brother? Appreciate the support. He was a Navy guy, but his separation happened with a blink of an eye. He thought it was prepared, like you said. They hand you the 214 and say peace. Depression was the biggest for me. Losing the rank, brotherhood, friends, going to new duty stations far away and feeling lonely. All you can do is move forward and know things do get better. VA was a struggle afterwards, but got through it. Dougie, appreciate you very much. This is actually a stat that when I was doing third shift security, not too long after I got out, him and I did third shift security together. And I remember one of the first times he asked me, we were both in the vehicles, and we met up in the center of the hospital at the bell tower. And he was sitting there, and we were just shooting the shit. And he's like, "Yo, can I ask you a question?" And there it was, so we just started. I was like, "Listen, I can give you my experience. I'm not going to tell you to do it and not to do it, bro." Yeah. I said, I've never done that, never will. So I told him my experience, and I ended up leaving that job. And it was like, I think within the next year or something, he had joined the Navy. And then I saw him here in Baltimore for Fleet Week while he was in his uniform, and we drank beers together, and it was really, really cool. So he's a good guy. I appreciate his support, and I got to watch him through his whole service on social media. So it was cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good guy.
What about his conversations with you turned him into going to the Navy instead of the Marine? I mean, he's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to join the military, but not the Marine Corps.
It just must have been. What did he respond to that already?
I think he wrote that comment as I was saying that. So
I'll say I did it and appreciate the experience I went through, the good times and the bad. Love you guys. Love you too, buddy. I think just the experience he wanted, and that's it. But I probably told him some shitty things. You can't take that away from.
No, that's the Marine Corps, man.
Right? That's part of it.
Shitty things is like standard operating procedure.
Absolutely, man. You can't talk
shitty
about
places and shitty things.
You can't talk about the Marine Corps without talking about really shitty things. That now, even then, we'd have a smile and maybe be jokingly laughing about, but it was like that insane.
You're miserable. Yeah. You're like
you snap.
Embrace the suck. I told you when I was in the Philippines, I felt like it was hotter than Afghanistan. I felt like I was being cooked alive, dude.
Because of the humidity.
We were training in like this tall grass. I'm like, God, we did like the Marine Corps scout the worst places on freaking earth that they can train, and that's where you
Dude, that's the tab that the recruiter gives you that says travel and adventure, pal.
an adventure. Oh yeah, it's an adventure. Yeah, it's
Got
an
you good there.
adventure. They didn't lie.
They
It's
did
not the
not.
adventure you thought.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I talked to. I've had some junior Marines that went on and they actually lived the Marine Corps dream, man. They went to Okinawa, and so like they were single and they did island hopping. They flew on cheap flight, so they got to do that stuff. So there is those opportunities there. So
yeah, that's awesome. Thank you everybody for all the chats and then the stories. Dougie just got it. We really do appreciate it. This is what makes our show so interesting, unique, and awesome week to week to be able to check in with everybody. I do want to ask you a question, pal.
Sure.
Before we wind things down for the night, I know you had a little bit of a raw experience this weekend doing some research about some things, and I know you being a father of two girls, it hit you, rubbed you a certain way, and I wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing, bud.
Yeah. So I mean, this I appreciate that. It's still it's not. The world is a sad, sick place, unfortunately, and there's a lot of horrible things that happen. So this isn't just, and this isn't the one incident, but this is the incident that happened recently. We were talking about our show, the Uvalde shooting,
right,
and at Robb Elementary, and since we talked about it last week, I did a lot of research, and saw videos that just almost made me throw up. It's just so what has happened, what's factual, I won't speculate. What is factual is the police officers that were on the scene were holding the parents back from going in. The tactical commander made the call not to go in to the school because he thought the shooter was in like a barricade situation.
Okay.
In a classroom, and they assumed that everybody in that, what the report says, they assumed everybody in the classroom was dead.
Right.
So they wanted to wait for a tactical. So while I'm looking around, I read this report, and then I think it was their chief of police came out and said, well, that was the wrong decision. Obviously, that was the wrong decision. Okay. So
there's ownership, which is,
yeah, I mean,
it's not the best, but there's ownership.
But I'm looking at these videos, man, and these guys, these police officers, first of all, they wanted a tactical team. They're all standing there. They all look like freaking Navy SEALs.
So those guys that I saw in the picture that were walking with the high speed gear, they weren't the tactical team?
No, they were the ones holding the parents back.
Whoa.
So there's videos, right, where these guys are standing there, holding on to their weapons, pushing the parents back, and the parents are actually saying to the cop, "Are you afraid to get shot?" You could hear gunshots coming from the freaking classroom, and moms are on their knees screaming, and like I told you, dude, there's no question in my mind, they'd have to kill me.
Yeah.
Or I assume tase me. There's no way I'm not going in that school. I mean,
that's rough.
I just watching that unfold. Oh my gosh, man! When I saw those videos after I read that report, I almost threw up. It just I can't imagine a worse thing. And
For a parent to go through, man, that's unbelievable.
Right. So I pray for them. I pray for those parents and those family members, man. I can't even imagine the unbelievable pain. It's just absolutely horrible. And of course, I think it could have been a better situation. Maybe it couldn't have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It's one of those what ifs, right?
yeah, I mean, you don't know. But I guess it was an off-duty cop that ended up. I told you, ended up going in there.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, and then I talked to Tate about it. I posted about it, and we can go down the rabbit hole in conspiracy theories because that's where a lot of military guys go.
Yeah, well, we actually should do an episode of conspiracy theories. That would be cool. Let's put that on the block. That would be fun. But every one of these, just to kind of bring this full circle, every one of these, there's a lot of people and families and people affected by this that are going to be going through this grieving process.
Yep.
So I think that this could be, as we dig into this more, Matt, you and I, behind the scenes and try to get this in more of a presentable manner, dude, I think we're slowly starting to see where we can build bridges to connect people and help.
I think even just from the viewers we had tonight, from the feedback we were getting, obviously everybody identified with, like I said, when you brought it up and you made the correlations between the two, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you first said it, I'm like, I don't know where the hell he's going with this.
and again, like to your point, man, we're doing this all live action, and this is really what I'm feeling. That was really like what I was thinking, and I don't really listen. Sometimes I listen to music in the car, but when I'm in thinking and like planning, I'm silent.
Yeah.
That's really what I was thinking, man. I was looking around. I was just 55 miles an hour, just cruising on a Sunday drive, and I was just looking around, and I was like, man, I'm in pain. And then, quick anger. And then I'm like, man, I've gone through so many different emotions about it. And since the dream that I have had, and we're going to keep bringing that up, but I've tried to like go against it the last couple weeks and be like, think about myself going back in. And again, I still have, I still get that shit's the wrong feeling. So I keep checking in with myself to make sure that what I thought and felt and saw and everything was really actually what I feel. And it is. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to dive into this more. It looks like we've got another comment from Cody. A great point about families. I post on Memorial Day for them, but many tell me how sorry they are for me. It's for the families. Feel for them. Guilt. Feel for them. Yeah, I agree, Cody. Thanks for sharing, brother. But
and there is a level of for me, speaking of me personally, there's a level of guilt there. That why am I here?
I feel the same. I've thought about that quite a bit. I think, and I don't know if this is going to be a popular thing to say, but whatever.
Say it.
I think when we feel that as veterans, it's because that would have been the easier way out. In that very moment, if you think about that and you think about everything that you've been through, how quick being a hero and dying for your country can be. I'm not saying that we wanted it, but when you try to compare how quick and honorful it truly is, all the pain and everything, 10, 20, 30 years of whatever you're going through, you do ask yourself, how come I'm the one going through this? Why, I believe that.
Yeah, that's definitely a different perspective. I've never looked at it like that. I mean, I know if you're in those situations, you certainly always expect to not come home, right? I mean, you almost have to buy into that mentally, because otherwise you'll live in fear the whole time you're in combat. So, I'm thinking like my guilt was more for, like why do I get chosen to be here? Because aside, you're dealing with the stuff, but at the same time, I still get to see my kids, and you know what I mean. So there, that's man, you're on another level tonight. You got all kinds of different things going on. You're thinking on another level. You bring in perspectives that I never thought of.
I believe it in my heart, man. But
I'll put a bow on.
To answer your question, hold on. To answer your question, I think for you and I is to be doing this very thing that we're doing. We're already starting to see, dude, behind the scenes that we're building shit, and it's gonna be incredible,
very rewarding.
Yeah,
I'll put a bow on Memorial Day. If there's any family members or surviving family members who have lost, I have made a personal pledge since the day I got out, even when I was in. I make it a point to educate and to speak the names of those in events, so those heroes are remembered on that day. Maybe not the rest of the year, but on that day we're talking about them. So in my world, they will never be forgotten.
Same here. Same with Disarranged. Is that just the ultimate sacrifice you and your family have endured for our freedoms, everybody's freedoms to do the things that they do on a daily basis. We do thank you very much and honor you. Looks like Cody Baird. We got another one. Matt nailed it. Well, doesn't happen all the time there, Cody. But 5 months ago, 5 months into Afghanistan, I had zero expectations of coming home back in 2009, and we lost 9-2. It's why I hold Memorial Day so close. Cody, thanks for sharing that, man. God bless you and your unit. Shout out to 22.
So, yeah. I'm glad we talked about it, Matt. I brought up Memorial Day. I'm glad we talked about it. And I'm a veteran. Sometimes I don't look at I don't care what my service was. I just appreciate. I know there's so many more people that gave so much more.
Right.
And I know just the little amount that I've given, how much it's affected my life. I can't even imagine, for those who have given that much more, how it's affected their life. And so I'm thankful for all those people, man. As a veteran, I'm thankful. So,
well, pal, I like to throw curveballs, right, bud?
Sure.
I am going to go back.
Okay.
Can you put the date or a rough date on when we got our first live caller?
Oh boy.
It was, I think I have it right here.
I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Huh?
Does 4/27 sound about right?
Well, was it that long ago, huh?
I think so, yeah. I think it was that long ago.
Oh, what am I talking about? Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so listen, I think tonight, to get back on schedule with our buddy checks, we're going to try to give our first live caller a call since we haven't heard from him. I don't remember as if we got his name. I feel like his screen name was like
King something.
Or I thought it was was it King something or Big Boy something? Or
just call him brother or bud. That's what I call everybody.
Okay.
Brother or bud. Hey, buddy.
Okay. Hey, pal.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, let's see if we can't connect with him. Stand by.
He did comment recently on one of our episodes on YouTube. So
okay, cool.
He's still engaged and still watching. So
all right, let's see if we can get him. Stand by.
Perfect. Standing by.
Are you standing?
Please leave your message for
there it is.
178
right, I got that.
012 047.
Hey, what's going on, brother? It's Andrew and Matt with Disarranged. We're just giving you a live call, live buddy check to check in on you. It's been a few weeks. We wanted to know how your sleeping pattern's been, if anything that we gave you for advice has worked. But we're just thinking of you. We're live right now. Everyone in the chats is saying hello. So again, I hope you're well, brother, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care and Semper Fi.
God bless. Oh, there you go, man.
Well, listen, if that wasn't him, I think that's a good message.
That still qualifies as a buddy check.
That's it, man. You're not going to get a hold of the person every time.
I think we'll hear from him again. So
I hope so. Because dude, that really made my night that happened.
Yeah.
So you got any final words, Matt, before we get out of here, brother?
No, I just want to finish this week off. I just want to get over it. I got parts that are being direct drove from Wisconsin tomorrow. I get parts.
Hell, I got a Jeep. You want me to come fill the Jeep up and whoop it on or what, bud?
They're being built right now, and I'm just praying they get done. We need them for Friday, so that's my final word.
Well, I wish you the best, brother, for the rest of the week, and I hope you
you
get
too,
all the stuff you've done well. And everybody that's watching now and then, really appreciate.
We love you. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yeah, what this guy said. But yeah, we really do. Thank you guys every week coming and joining with us. We look forward to another great episode next week. But until then, man, keep pushing, keep kicking ass. We love every one of you guys, and we appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Welcome to Disarranged 1775, your #1 live talk show.